Hi, I'm Willie with H5 Technology, and welcome to my channel. So before we get started on tonight's main content, I want to let you know that the next video that I'm already working on is for the new version of the NetTool and some of the awesome new things you can do. If you follow their blog, you probably know what this is going to be all about. But I'm going to show you some pretty cool things that you can do, or at least a cool thing that you can do with the NetTool and the USB port, the full-size USB port that's on the top. I think you're really going to like it, and I've got some more NetTools to give away. So that is coming. That video, this will either be out Sunday or Monday. And what you're looking at now is, look what I've got here. That's right, an EdgeRouter 6P. So we're going to talk about this guy. We're going to take it out. We're going to set it up. And it comes in a similar box to the EdgeRouter 4. Not a lot of frills. So EdgeRouter 6P, 6-port gigabit with one SFP port. And then on the back you can see it's got the picture with the rack mount. And I do have a lead on some more of those. I'm actually waiting for someone to get back to me to let me know when those are going to be kind of available en masse. Very nondescript brown box that the unit comes in. We'll open it up and I will show you what's in the box. Alright, so in the box you get the EdgeRouter. Look how nice these things are looking. So you've got your LEDs over here. Of course, EdgeRouter 6P, console, USB 3. Now, somebody asked, what could we do with the USB 3 ports? Well, first of all, these run Linux under the hood. So you can get to that and you could do some things. You could probably throw a USB drive on there, a printer, things like that. In the future, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Ubiquiti could sell Ubiquiti branded 3G, 4G, 5G dongles that would plug in and you would have a network interface that was over the air on your router. I could see that happening. I could see Ubiquiti doing that. So we work our way down the line, E0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the SFP, standard SFP, not SFP plus, makes 5 there. And on the back you can see, so the power on this guy works a little bit differently. The EdgeRouter 4 does not have PoE out. This can do power on all of the ports except the SFP port. So on the back it's got the 24-volt barrel plug. On the side it's still got the mounting holes. So that's the router itself. So we'll set that here. And I'll show you that compared to maybe another EdgeRouter. And then we have our quick start guide. We're really going to dig into the EdgeRouter 6P and the EdgeRouter 4. There's going to be a lot of videos on these two routers just because they're new and they're different. And IPsec throughput, I was told that on a gigabit connection you should have a minimum, with no tweaking, just using the GUI, a minimum of 400 megabits per second between a 6 and a 4, a 4 and a 4, a 6 and a 6. So we're going to put that to the test. The quick start guide, it's literally the same, the same quick start guide tells us what IP we need to log into and all of that good stuff. So we'll plug this in, we'll upgrade it, we'll get it going. The other thing that's in here is you have some of the mounting parts. There's a power clip retaining clip. That's pretty neat. The thing that I don't see that did not come in this box was the black screws for the rack mount kit. So that was a little weird, but then you've got your standard Mickey Mouse power cord that goes into the this is a 24 volt 2.5 amp power supply. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this we're going to get this fired up. We'll put a static IP address on my machine. We'll log in. We'll upgrade it, and then we'll kind of talk about the PoE output just a little bit. So I will be right back. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but I've got my machine plugged into ETH0. It will not get an IP address, so we've got to come in here and we've got to put a static IP, just like with every other edge router, so that we can get in here and open up the initial configuration page. Alright, so here's our page. We're going to type in bad idea. It's going to forward us over. We're going to type in UBNT. We're going to scan the license. We're good with the license. We're going to hit I agree. We're going to log in. And the first thing that's going to come up is the router is in default config. Do you want to start with the basic setup wizard? And right now the answer is no, because this is on EdgeRouter 6P version 1.9.8 out of the box. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this guy to 1.10. Real quick, I want you to notice that over here under hardware, there's this hardware section, and you got system voltage, system current, system power consumption. So that is pretty nifty right there. Let's go ahead and hop into system, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my image real quick, and we're going to upgrade this guy. So I clicked this upload a file under upgrade system image. I went out, I found my ER-300.v.1.10, and it is uploading now. So that same version works for the EdgeRouter 4 and the EdgeRouter 6. As we talked about before, one of the significant differences between the 6 and the 4, obviously we have more ports, but then it's also PoE. So once we get this set up, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then once we have internet again, we'll bring up the spec sheet and go over the specs real quick. And anytime we should get a message here, yep, to reboot. So we're going to say yes, we'll reboot. So we'll open up a command prompt and we'll just do 1.1 until it comes back. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and as soon as the router is back, I'll be right back with you. Okay, the router's back up, so we're going to do a UBNT. And now you'll see that we are on EdgeRouter 6P version 1.10. We still got our nice little hardware information over here. We got that UNMS where it says that's disabled. We're getting to all of that. We're going to really do a lot. There's a new version of UNMS that should be out by the end of the month, so we'll be checking that out too. But real quick, we're going to hop over here to the wizard. We're going to do our LAN plus 2 LAN 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to do DHCP for ETH0. And we are not going to bridge this. We are going to configure ETH1, and that's fine. We'll put it on the 192.168 network because we're going to have the firewall, so that's fine. ETH2 will get configured. But actually, yeah, that should be fine. Actually, let's do this. 68. And we'll do this one to like something that I know I don't have. We'll create a new admin user and password. So now I can plug my machine into either ETH1 or ETH2, and I'm going to plug ETH0 back into the network here so the router can actually get us out to the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and we're going to reboot. Yes, we're sure we want to reboot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to take an Ethernet cable and I'm going to plug into ETH0 back into one of my switches, and then I'm going to plug my machine. I'm actually going to do it right now. I'm going to move my machine from ETH0 to ETH1. I'm going to take my static IP address off because I'm not going to need that. So I should get a DHCP address, and it should be in that 68 network that we set up. But now I'm going to plug an Ethernet cable in from ETH0 to my network, and I will be right back. Alright, so the router is rebooted. It looks like my machine, I'm not going to have to do the release and renew. So let's bring this up. 66.68.1. We'll type in bad idea. And it's going to load. We can see that we've got a DHCP address on ETH0, which is our internet, which is perfect. And real quick, let's hop out to the we'll hop out to the Ubiquiti site. We'll pull some specs up for this guy real quick. Okay, so we're out on Ubiquiti's website, and we're at that EdgeMax model comparison matrix that they provide. And I really like this. So they need to get rid of the coming soon on the ER6P, but you can see that it's got 4 cores. It's got each core operates at 1 gigahertz. It's got 1 gig of RAM and 4 gigs of storage. It's got the console port, USB port coming in at street value, street price, MSRP of $239. It's got 5 ports, 1 SFP port. And none of these routers that we're looking at, whether it's the 8 Pro, the EdgeRouter 4, or the 6P, have that SFP plus port. Comes in at 16 watts for max consumption without PoE. The import is 24 volts, and the voltage is 16 to 30 volts. It's got 5 PoE out, with each port coming in at 16 to 30 volts, and it can do a total PoE out of 100 watts. It's got a routing throughput with 1518 byte packets of 6 gigabits and 490,000 packets per second. And then if you jump to 64 byte packets, it's 1.8 gigabits and 3.4 million. So this thing is a little workhorse, and we are definitely going to put it through its paces. But what I wanted to talk about was the power. So what really separates this model is the 2 and 4 wire PoE, right? So it's not only 2 wire, but it'll also do 4 wire 24 volt PoE. And so I've created a spreadsheet, and I'm going to put the link to this spreadsheet. I'm still updating the spreadsheet as I get time. Like this weekend when I'm drinking a beer, I'm going to be, surfing through all the Ubiquiti literature, finishing this out. If you see something that's not on there, and actually when I was getting ready to film this video, I was like, oh, I'm missing that particular product, and it's some of the legacy stuff that's still out there. And so I'll have to get that added. And as always, if you see products missing from this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you, you just put them down there. And another thing I'll talk to you about when we get over there. So we're going to hop over. Here's my spreadsheet. And I am going to, like I said, I'm going to put a link to the spreadsheet down. Everybody's going to be able to view this spreadsheet. So we're going to go over it just a little bit, what this spreadsheet is. And I really started this for the EdgeRouter 6P because I want to do a lot of videos on this and really push this and the 4 to their max. So what I've done is I've divided it into families. So as you scroll through here, you'll see the families. I started out, I was just going to do Air Fiber and Air Max, and I was like, well, wait a second, we can power other things. So the first thing that we've got device, power, and volts, the amps, how many pair, PoE pair, 2 pair, 4 pair. So anything that is not under pair, anything that doesn't have something in it is just standard 2 pair, as far as I know. So then over here we've got watts, then I'm going to start filling out Ethernet ports, and then we'll have different columns for the speeds, whether it has PoE pass-through, if it's a wireless device, what frequency does it operate in, will the EdgeRouter 6P power it, and has it been verified with the EdgeRouter 6P. So I've got 2 different columns. So this is what, in theory, K, this is the theory, right? Over here is going to be the verified. Now, I have some of these devices. So over the weekend, every one of these devices that I have, I'm going to go ahead and verify whether it works with the EdgeRouter 6P. If it does, I'm going to put an X in there. If it doesn't, I'm going to put doesn't work, something like that. So what I'd like is if anybody has any of these devices that they want to donate to the lab, that they want to donate to the cause, please get a hold of me. I would love to have more devices in the lab. The more things we can replicate, the more we can talk about, the more questions I can answer. That's absolutely awesome. And then we'll test it with the EdgeRouter. And if you want the device back, I can send the device back. If you want to donate it, that's awesome too. But I would love to have every one of these devices in the lab to be able to test with. Now I know that might sound like I'm asking for a lot, and eventually maybe I'll get there out of my own pocket. I don't know. But if you've got those devices, they're not doing anything, and you want to see them in a video and show up on this spreadsheet, let me know. Now these green rows, we already know 100% without a doubt that these are not going to work because they are 4-pair 48 volt, right? So the Air Fiber 5, if you haven't seen that, that is a huge air fiber unit. I think it's like a meter long, and is true full duplex. So that and the 5U, the U just means that it operates in the upper end of the 5 gigahertz frequencies. Then you've got the Air Fiber 24 HD, the Air Fiber 11, which is the 11 gigahertz product. So those radios in green, we cannot power those from the EdgeRouter 6P. Air Fiber 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5X HD, which is the LTU, can all be powered from the EdgeRouter 6P. Notice I don't have a verified over here. So then we get down into the AirMax, and you can look up, if you just Google these part numbers, these will come up. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I know I'm forgetting devices because Ubiquiti has so many devices. And then I look over, and I mean, here is, you know, one of the Picos, and I know these Picos are out there and they're everywhere. They sold, I don't know how many of these things they sold, but they are everywhere, but I don't have it on my list, so I know I'm missing that, and maybe I'm missing some other things. So what I got to do is I'm going to have to, because I'm listing the devices by the actual part number so that you can do a quick reference. You can come in here, you're going to be able to see the frequency, the Ethernet ports, and everything, and you're going to go, okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for, and then it'll give you a place to go do more research. So down here, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to create a new section, and we're going to call this just unclassified. And anything that's in the unclassified, is that even spelled right? Anything that's even in the unclassified is going to have to get a part number and actual device part number, part name, and then get everything filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. But check this out. So all of these part numbers, I pulled, started pulling all of this off. And like I said, as I fill this out, you're going to see it updated. So you'll want to reference back to it because, like I said, as I get a few minutes here and there, I am going to be filling this out. And real quick, I happen to have one of these devices here, or I did have. So let me find, we're going to throw the AirCube AC on here and see if we can get this guy to power up. So then we'll at least have one verified. So let me find that and I'll be right back. So here is my AirCube AC. I still have to, there's a new version of the firmware out that's supposed to really enhance the capabilities of this guy and give the GUI kind of an upgrade. So, but you can see on the back that we have the 24 volt PoE in. So we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to plug it into ETH2 and we're going to see if it comes alive. All right, here we go. So we got 24 volt PoE in. I'll just set this up here on the printer. And I'm going to plug that into ETH2. And we may, and actually will likely, because it's passive PoE, it's not auto sensing, so it's not just going to kick on. We're going to have to come over here. We're going to have to go to ETH2 right here. And we're going to have to go to PoE. And it's going to ask us, is it 24 volt or 24 volt 4-pair? We're going to say 24 volt. We're going to say yes, and we're going to hit save. And now I have a different LED on the router. I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if I can blow this screen up here. So the top row of the LEDs, that is actually the PoE LED. So and if we are doing 20, so it's a green right now, right? So that means that we're just running 24 volt. If this was 24 volt 4-pair, then that would actually be a blue LED. But you can see we've got a gigabit Ethernet link light, and we have the PoE light. And then, just so you know that I'm not yanking your chain, you can see that the LED ring on the AirCube AC is on. So we can successfully say that this device is verified by us. So let's find the AirCube AC, and that device has been verified. So there is our first verified device. How awesome is that? So like I said, I'm going to put the link to this out there. I think you're really going to enjoy this spreadsheet. It's going to be good for all of us. It's going to be an awesome reference for everybody. And like I said, we're going to be able to touch a lot of devices and get that thing fleshed out. And I'm really looking forward to this. I've got something, you know, we're doing the NetTool video, and then I got to get back to Zycel and some GrandStream stuff. But mixed in between there, I've got a really awesome video. I bought a something that I'm not going to give it away, but anyway, we've got a special thing that we're gonna do for our EdgeRouter 4 and our EdgeRouter 6, and we're gonna throw an EdgeRouter Pro into the mix. EdgeRouter Pro will be our internet, and it's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait to show you guys that video. So that's it for now. I think this EdgeRouter 6P it's gonna be a fantastic router. We're gonna get to do some benchmarking here, and you're gonna get to see it. See how it compares against some of the other routers. We'll also throw, you know, the Open VPN on this, just like we are with the EdgeRouter 4, so you get to see that performance. And these things are really workhorses. So if you configure your network correctly, you know, if you've got, you know, even an 8-port switch, and you're doing VLANs instead of trying to do, you know, the configuration to bind all the ports together, so you don't take that penalty. But that's it for now. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Please go to h5llc.com down there. Sign up for our newsletter so that if anything ever happens to YouTube, we can still, you know, stay in contact with you. There's a link to our Discord channel, which is kind of like our forums, where you'll find me sometimes I'm there at least once a day, you know, answering questions and things like that. There's also my Amazon store down there with all my recommended products. So if you're shopping around for networking gear or anything else on Amazon, go ahead and check that out. That's always appreciated. It doesn't change your price, but it does kick a couple bucks to the channel. And as always, I do appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next video.